Murr, I'm familiar with your previous profession and your old co-host Matt and some of the shenanigans and stuff that you guys did previously. Apparently, there is a news organization who is out has Matt in the crosshairs. To say it lightly, what the hell's going on?
Well, I'll tell you this: it's weird for me that my name is in the article and like used so heavily. I there's a point where they start doing transcripts of like things we said in old bits, and it's like Walsh, Murr, Walsh, Murr. I'm like, fuck, and it okay. Now, Alan, I'll ask you: do you believe that cancel culture is real?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a fucking line of where, like, you know, some of the fucking, like, the wokest of wokes go fucking just absolutely overboard. And they're like, this guy's got to fucking never have a life again because he said some stupid shit. It's like, all right, relax. Now, do I feel like people should be held accountable for their shitty fucking takes and fucking things that they say? Absolutely. So, I mean, I only know a little bit about this and this guy, and he said some outlandish shit that I can see. But also, you know him. Like, you tell us. What do you like?
Murr, didn't you say the weird thing was you were sitting in the room when he said these things that are being quoted, and that's not like some of it just taken way out of context, or is that kind of?
I get why like Rogan gets so mad when they quote him about something and they take that as the gospel of what he said inside a 3-hour show. You gotta remember, we did a 4-hour show every day. And here's the weirder part of it is it was on a rock station and it was, you know, like shock jock morning show, right? So, but we occasionally got into politics because this is right when politics was becoming kind of like that new age way of kind of entertainment. And so we wanted to get into that, but we also wanted to be rock station DJs, but we wanted to do a little bit of both. We wanted to be serious sometimes. And Matt's always had these convictions, and they've taken these clips, and it's what's bizarre about it is I was in the room for the entirety of it, but the way they're presenting it isn't how it was presented on the morning show, even though they're kind of long clips. Some of them are 5 to maybe 10 minutes, but you got to remember, we talked about things before and after all of this stuff. And so to see them kind of spinning it, let's ruin this guy's life for something he said when he was 23 years old, now in his mid-30s, and let's also misrepresent it. It's so fucking, it's just odd. It's strange. And again, they didn't like reach out to me. They've got my name. They know who I am. They didn't ask me like what I thought of this or if this was being taken out of context. And then they come at him like he's some kind of grifter, but it's like, aren't you grifting off of his grift then? Does that not make you a little bit worse than the grifter himself if your grift is grifting off of his grift? Does that make sense?
Okay. I think all news is grifting, if we're being technical. But yeah, like I think you're right. I think it has happened, at least in my small sample size of like looking through some shit and looking at like clips, is that like I would assume he's gone probably a little bit more radical than when you guys were hanging out. I don't know. I don't know your history and like how bad, like not how bad, but like how crazy you guys got. But like, I feel like he's said some things that obviously put him in a weird spotlight in this current climate. And that now they can just go back to his shit and use it to reinforce the shit he's said like now. You get what I'm saying? Like, so sure. You're right. I think they are just taking that and using it as fucking ammunition to fuel the fire. But that's what happens when you say stupid shit.
Well, here's the thing, though. He was 22, 23 at the time, right? And he was, I think, he's always had these convictions, but now over, through age and maturity, he's kind of like come into his own on like, okay, all of these thoughts I've now honed them. And now I'm going to use this for what he believes to be a force of good. And, he talks a lot about transgender issues. He talks a lot about, homosexuality and pornography. And I feel like he has now really come to terms with his own philosophy on things, where then he was just kind of mentally dabbling with them because he was a young man. And maybe he didn't necessarily speak them to the most truest form that he would have wanted to get to, but the thoughts were there, and so he expressed them. And so now they're going back and they're trying to like retroactively say that, oh, well, listen to what he said back then.
I do
find that. Would you say that? Do you think he has matured to these views, or that he, being a performer, had these views, and over the last 8 years, the culture and the climate that we're in has kind of allowed him and afforded him the opportunity to be like, let me lean into some of these that also helps my fucking brand, that also still kind of coincides with what I actually believe, and some of what I actually believe was extreme 8 years ago and now can be mainstream. You get what I'm saying? Like, do you think, like, he's clearly always had conservative views, and as a young man, obviously he's figuring that out, but do you think there's an aspect of this of where he consciously was like, all right, well, now I can kind of be a fucking shitbag because people love shitbags, and no, I can make money off of this. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going to answer your question, but Wes, what were you going to say?
No, Chappelle kind of summed it up when he said basically I find it absurd is that you're on fucking trial or you're on the stand for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Oh, like, hey, I'm going to fish something out that you did kind of tongue in cheek 10, 12 years ago when you were in the infancy of your brand, and oh, this is who you are. Well, Christ, like you said, I'm trying to fucking entertain people for 4 hours a day. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you have to say some outlandish shit. Sometimes they have to do some outlandish things. Sometimes you have to wrap an intern in bubble wrap and hit them 20 miles an hour with a vehicle in order to fucking get some clicks. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, no, and you're right. But Alan, to your point, no, and to call him a sure, plenty of people are going to call him a shitbag.
Yeah, no, I know that was just hyperbole at
right. But no, I knowing him, he truly believes that what he is on is a righteous mission to change the culture to something that is righteous in his mind. And a lot of people agree with his stance on these things, and he believes these things. Now, there's a catch-22 here. Yes, you have to try to get people to listen to your brand. In my opinion, I'm not quoting him or anything, but you've got to sensationalize your headlines. You got to make sure they're crafted properly to get people to be interested in them. Yeah, you have to ruffle the feathers to get people to pay attention, but the things that are at the core of what he's saying, he truly and honestly believes to be the truth. He thinks that the left tries to make people think they're crazy for having some of these thoughts, and he's tried his best to digest them for people in a way that is almost where irrefutable. And he believes in irrefutable truth, and he's speaking to irrefutable truth from his perspective. The thing he's getting raked over the coals about right now is they're calling him a groomer, because he was stating at one point that there was a time where teenage pregnancy wasn't a big deal because those girls, when they were teenagers, were getting married and then getting pregnant, and it wasn't a big deal. But and I remember this conversation. It was in its entirety. It was about the infantilization of the modern American youth. Like what the maturity of a 16-year-old back in the 1950s is like the maturity of a 25-year-old in the 2000s. It's like we've treated these young adults like they don't know what the hell they're doing or talking about, to a point to where like they don't grow up until they're in their 20s now. Where back in the day, they were more mature at a younger age. And now they're trying to call him a pedophile. And it's like, that's not what was said. You're packaging his words in a box that doesn't fit. And that's not fair. And I think what I get so angry about is, like, if you want to cancel the guy based on fact and merit, not on made up headlines and hyperbole that allows you to get clicks and allows people to get outraged over something that wasn't even said in order to address a point that you can't combat. So I guess that's it.
So what happens from here? I mean, is this obviously this guy's has had to shut down or give a stiff arm to counterculture for quite some time right now. Is this something that's like to be taken serious? Is this something full? I mean, obviously you have to take them all somewhat seriously, but is this just another swing and miss from counterculture, or is this a legit? Okay. All right.
Yeah, he said, "I will." I think his exact quote was, I will not bend the knee, and you can piss off." And I think, and that's it, and it'll move on. And yeah,
just looking at his picture, he looks like somebody who would say something stupid like that.
Net worth worth $5 million. Hey,
man, fucking like I said, Brandon's Brandon. I told you guys I will get racist as motherfucking shit if we can be worth $5 million. Legitimately, I will. I believe everything he believes. If you making me worth $5 million right fucking now.
Man. Didn't you say you had a hog on him too, Murr?
Yeah, I will fucking absolutely give the Republicans a Latino face to fucking soften the blow to the Browns. Absolutely, hand over the money. Give me that CPAC money, baby. Like, I'm fucking in. Don't play with me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just find it. If this was I guess my point would be, if this was a legitimate news story that was to take somebody down, and not that I care one way or the other, like, I feel like they would have contacted me for some context, you know, just to be, what did you think of, you know, if it was real reporting and you have the names of the individuals involved, you would think there would be follow-ups and questions. And so the hypocrisy of the quote unquote reporting it's aghast, and it's right there for everybody to see.
I was going to say, I wouldn't even say, like, looking at it too, I wouldn't even say reporting. Like, I clearly don't like what this guy believes. That's perfectly fine. But fucking, like, this all seems just like that media outlet. Like, what the fuck even are they? Like, their Twitter is just like, we're a fucking liberal watchdog. It's like, shut up. You just fucking shut the fuck up. You just fucking find fucking douchebaggy ass white dudes like this who say fucking teens should have babies, or teens back in the day should had babies, and maybe we should get back to that, maybe. But you look at this guy and then you're like, nope. See, he loves fucking. He's a groomer,
pedophile,
pedophile. Like, so yeah. Like, look, I personally, off of the very little knowledge that I know about Matt Walsh, think this guy's a dickbag. But that's neither here nor there. This is a fucking joke. Like, people have said and done worse. Like, there are worse political commentators than this fucking guy. And I mean, look at him. He's got a very punchable face. Just punch. Stop fucking taking him down. Like, that make punch fascists. Make punching fascists cool again. I'm cool with that. You know, punch this guy. Don't fucking drag him on Twitter. Nobody gives a shit. He's just getting fucking clicks out of it.
Well, he made that documentary, What Is a Woman? And no one that he interviewed in the documentary could answer that question, and they're very upset with him about this. So rather than combat him and answer his question,
what is his answer?
That a biological female.
Okay, that's not wrong.
It's more of an image.
Oh, Alan! Wow. Then
but,
you, my friend, are on the wrong side of history.
No, but like, fucking, a transgender woman is a woman. Like, the guy. See, this is just a bad faith argument from Matt Walsh, and we can have him on because fucking, it's literally just trying to paint one. Be like, it could only be that. No, it can't. Since when has humanity or life or anything been only this or that? Y'all just want it that way because that's what y'all want. That's what y'all's leaders have said you guys should fucking get mad about. And here we are. There's a whole fucking ecosystem of grifters like this guy that exploit it.
Now he's a grifter again.
I mean, you called him a fucking grifter.
No, I did not call him a grifter.
You fucking definitely referred to his shit as a grift, that this media company was grifting off of his grift. Those were your exact fucking words.
No, I said that if you're calling what he does a grift, you're grifting off of what you call a grift.
Run it back.
Run it back. Anyway, but I don't know. Bring some heat to me. I'd love to chat about it. I'd love to, but they don't want to do that, and that's the frustrating part. If we want to get the truth and we want to try to hold people accountable, then if you really, really, really want to cancel somebody, figure out a way to combat their arguments with sound, principled arguments. You can't just ruin people's livelihoods because you want to ruin the reputation. And his reputation is attached to his livelihood, and that's why they want to ruin his reputation.
Yeah.
They don't have any other evidence that suggests that the things that he says are fake or factually inaccurate, so they go after his reputation to destroy his livelihood, to take him out of the conversation.
I'd say a lot of his shit is just opinion, so he ain't arguing fact either. But that's neither here nor there. These guys are just fucking, again, they're Twitter watchdogs, and they're trying to get a little fucking play out of a guy who's got a name that they can fucking grift off of too. Like, yeah, I kind of agree with you here. Like, I think he's a shitbag, but perfectly fine. I think that if it was like the New York Times or, well, I don't know, give like a major publication, it's just a Twitter handle. There was like, we don't like this guy. He's a fucking groomer. Okay. All right, beat it. Fucking Media Matters or whatever the fuck you're fuck out. That's from the liberal one.
They probably were getting stoned playing fucking Call of Duty, and someone's like, I got it. Media Matters.
Like, look at this guy's fucking awful beard. He's such a fucking pedophile.
Did he pull that off the coat rack and put it on his face in the morning? Looks too good, goddamn good.
He does got a really punchable face.
That's new. When he was with Murr, he was clean shaven. But of course, that's
word. I mean, it probably would be more punchable, but you can't be talking about fucking child grooming and shit and not have a beard in conservative circles. This is a whole vibe.
And they came after us because we burned a book. And in our defense, I mean, it was worth burning.
Look, there's some books that can be burned. All right, so. Yeah, I'm sure it was fine.
I remember you guys were having trouble lighting it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We sprayed it with... We somehow, I don't even know how. I watched the video again. Somehow, we both ended up with a can of, ignition starter. It's just like, where did we find one at a radio station, let alone two?
Maybe that's why he was so clean-shaven. Fucking singes it off.
So that's that, man. I don't know. Yeah. He'll survive this, and and say what you want about conservative publications, but the Daily Wire is just where he works. They're not going to cancel him for it. They're not going to fire him for it. They're just going to say explain yourself, which is what they've done. Explain yourself, and let's move on.
Yeah,
which you should all have the opportunity to do.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like. I think that was my bigger point too. Is nothing's going to happen here.
Yeah.
You're good. He didn't do anything. He just says stupid shit. That's fine. You can do that. America, baby.
Yeah.
America.
Like, I eat poop.
This guy looks like a poop eater, actually. I just keep looking at his face. It's just so punchable. That's it.
I'm only defending his words. I'm not defending his face.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's indefensible looking at it. Hold on, pause. Let me share this.
Maybe he talks out of his ass.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can see it right there in the beard.
You got it.
Yeah, here, look. Come on. Tell you don't want to punch that guy. Man. Look at the fucking face. That's what Wikipedia was like, look, you want to punch this guy?
Here's the deal. Only because, and I don't know him from anywhere. I know him through the skits that he did with Murr way back when at the station in Delaware. Only because in that photo, okay, he was wearing a V-neck white undershirt underneath a dress shirt and a blazer. You don't need that. You don't need that nonsense. What's that?
I mean, unless you profusely sweat.
Yeah, traps the pit stains.
Yeah, like if you're a sweater, then yeah, you need an undershirt under your white button.
Why has it got to be a V-neck?
Oh, you wear that's old school shit. You wear V-necks because you don't want to show that you have an undershirt under it. That's like classic old school. Like our parents wore V-necks under button-down shirts. We wear crew necks because we're fucking animals.
Sounds like you're supporting the guy. Sounds like you're giving the guy a thumbs up.
I think he obviously has a stylist because this white guy isn't dressing himself. But that stylist knows their shit.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He didn't say he wanted to punch him from the neck down, just from the neck up.
Okay. Yeah, that I'm agreeing with a lot about none of this guy's views, but some of his behaviors. And V-necks under button downs, fine.
The one thing I will go to bat for is I believe he did probably 2 or 3 of the greatest prank phone calls that I've ever heard. And Matt, and by the way, it took him all this time to find a 12-year-old YouTube page that we had set up, Matt and Crank on YouTube. Matt and Crank, all one word. And the one where he calls a hotel lobby as a wizard is one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life.
Wow. We have a couple here on the Middle Classholes. We need to get back into that. Murr, you've given me a couple. Maybe I ought to put the key in the rusty key in that slot and turn that
How
again.
to try my hand. I always used to get like as a very thinking on my toes kind of speaker. I always thought that I'd be decent at it, but I've never really tried it because I'd get all nervous. Maybe I'll try my hand at it and record one for you guys.
Use some content. All right, Murr. Any last words?
No, I think that's it. I think I've spoken my piece, and
Yeah. And if you want a fucking take from the middle class holes on this shit, because Murr used to co-host with them, hit us the fuck up. We'll come on and be interviewed. We
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. We'll talk about it.
2 guys that don't know him and 1 guy that knows him really well. We have a good view.
One of us wants to punch him in the face just because he looked at it,
Yeah. And one of them's disgusted by the V-neck undershirts that he wears.
which is fucking preposterous because that's exactly how you're supposed to do it.
and one of them wishes he rode his coattails a little further down the line.
No, damn it, Murr. Fuck.